everyone, and welcome to The Charge, your source for all things collegiate esports. Alongside my co-host Bearlight, I'm Box0 On today's show, we'll be bringing you coverage of the Tespa Modern Warfare Squad's $10,000 tournament. That will be the last Modern Warfare major before the release of Cold War. And we will also be joined by a special guest to break down what happened in that championship. We will also be talking about the Red River Clash, where Longhorn Gaming faced off against Oklahoma University Esports in a 7-game rivalry match for Extra Life charity.
We're also going to be bringing back Gachyuh Covered, the top 5 plays of the week, sponsored by Charlotte Phoenix. And we're going to have our part 4 of our conversation with Mike Rufail of Team Envy. We're also bringing you some exciting news here from Evil Geniuses, as they have just announced this week a invitational tournament for League of Legends. It's going to feature 16 Midwest universities, so we're super excited to see that take place.
Yeah, that will take place this weekend, and this tournament will be a great opportunity for these schools to compete for scholarships and also to get more visibility for their players and their programs. We are excited about what Evil Geniuses is doing for the collegiate esports scene, and we will of course be covering this event moving forward, so stay tuned in the future for more. But let's go ahead and get into today's show.
And who doesn't like a heated rivalry when we talk about esports, right? The Red River Clash taking place between Oklahoma and Texas, that took place over the weekend, and the programs went head-to-head in 7 different game titles, all games ranging from Call of Duty to Rocket League and even Smash Bros. Too.
But this weekend was more than just gaming. During their streams, both programs also raised money for Extra Life, a great organization providing money for children's hospitals across the country. We saw some excellent games for an excellent cause over this past weekend.
To the action, we started off with a little bit of Smash Bro actions. Longhorn Gaming off and running with a win over OU, and that really set the tone for the remainder of the weekend. Highlighting of this match was an insane combo from Montana using Snake. Imperator not even given a chance to develop a counter here, and Texas wins Smash with +5 stock.
On to Rainbow Six Siege, Texas secures the first of many impressive performances with the win over OU. After a closely contested first map and an overtime win from Longhorn Gaming, Oklahoma put up another strong effort but couldn't quite keep up on map 2 and ultimately fell victim to the sweep.
In Overwatch, Oklahoma looking for some revenge, jumping out to a 2-0 lead early. The DPS from Chug and Bruise and Knock Knock really carried the Sooners squad in this tilt. Texas fought back and grabbed a couple of maps of their own, but they couldn't quite complete that reverse sweep, and Oklahoma takes the final map for a 3-2 victory.
Moving forward, it was again a bit of a struggle for Oklahoma as they couldn't quite find any traction in the COD series. Texas played a very aggressive style of play, and it really paid off because every time Oklahoma attempted a push and found a little bit of success, Siggy was there for the rest of the Texas team, answered with a quick kill to swing the momentum back in their favor, and they do ultimately pull off the sweep again.
A similar result in Rocket League series as well. Jed and Answer really had their way with the Sooner defense. Their ball control on the offensive side of the pitch led their rivals to multiple double commits, panic passing as well, and the Longhorns were able to jump on it early and often, and Texas walked away with the sweep.
While we do love to see amazing competition in the collegiate scene, we also love it when programs help the world understand that esports is so much more than just video games. We sat down with the head coaches from both Longhorn Gaming and Oklahoma Esports to talk about why they put together such an amazing event.
This year in particular, Red River Clash is the second annual Red River Clash. Last year was just an Overwatch event, and this year Jonathan reached out to me regarding like, hey, let's do something bigger than that. OU and LG, or University of Texas at Austin, have had like a big rivalry in the past, and we said, hey, esports is such a growing field, such a growing business. How can we bring this in, not just in Overwatch, but then also saying, hey, this is a kind of event that we can do in any sort of field within esports, not just limited to Overwatch, limited to all these different games, and try and be as encompassing as possible.
Yeah, I'm really glad Daniel mentioned the rivalry, because I think that's like the roots of the whole event. It's like when you think OU and Texas, like you think, you know, each team saying OU sucks, Texas sucks. Like it's a rivalry as old as time itself, or as old as the universities. So I think getting to have an event that's esports based that gets to like increase the scope of this rivalry, not just limited to one playing field. You get to have it across all of the mutual esports teams that we have. I think that's what makes this event so exciting.
Hello and welcome back to Gachyuh Covered. Esports in general is both physically and mentally challenging, so it's important to make sure you're exercising your gaming muscles as well as the rest of your body. First, let's talk about physical health. If you go and talk to any pro or collegiate team, you will quickly find out that all the coaches put their players on a workout plan. Gaming all day can put stress on your body in so many different ways. Exercise is super important to keep your body operating the way that it should be. 30 minutes a day is a great way to start any exercise, lifting weights or going for a run or even a long walk. Your mental health is just as important. We all know that esports are mentally draining to say the least. Ensure you take time to step back from the screen and reset. Take some time away, breathe, relax, meditate, whatever you can do to keep a level head and stay competitive. Lastly, a balanced diet is key to everything. Let's face it, the gamer diet isn't exactly the healthiest way to be, especially if you're sitting around all day. To stay at your peak, you have to drink plenty of water and be mindful of what you put into your body. We all love pizza and wings, but your body won't love that every day. Keeping a healthy lifestyle is all about routine. Staying consistent with sleep, diet, and physical exercise will keep you moving forward. We all love winning, but that doesn't happen unless you treat your body the way you should be. That will do it for this week. I'll see you next time. Got you covered.
So we gave you some coverage last week as the regular season was finishing, but we are back here again to cover the championship of the last Modern Warfare Tespa event before the release of Cold War. This event will hopefully tell us which schools are carrying the most momentum into the upcoming Tespa and CCL seasons. And to help break down what happened in this event, we are joined today by the Codfather himself from Virginia Commonwealth University, Sam, aka Pallyboy. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you, guys. Very honored to be here.
No, man, it's great to have you here. You were, of course, blowing up on Twitter with all of your coverage over the weekend of the event, so we are super excited to have you join us today. But let's go ahead and get right into the action. So right off the bat, our last Modern Warfare Championship is coming from none other than Ottawa University. Their black team takes a 3-1 series victory over A&M, led by players like Fame, who had a massive 32-16 KD in that Game 3 domination on Hackney Yard. And of course, this is a player we knew to keep an eye out for. But Pallyboy, my question to you is, how much do you think one player of that caliber matters when you have such a stacked roster across the tournament?
Greatly. I mean, this is a guy who brings experience to the table. He finished top 6 in the Challengers Finals. You mentioned the 32-16 game he had. He also went 29-9 in that hard point in the same series. So when you have a guy of this caliber on your roster, the rest of the team can play their own roles properly. So they know they have a guy who can control the map and hold his own in 1v1 situations. It makes it much easier on the rest of the team.
No, it definitely does. Now, Texas A&M had a run of their own through the losers bracket to make it to the final, taking down the great Penn State team in the losers finals after falling in their first matchup against Ottawa Black. As the 7th seed heading into the final bracket, what do you think allowed A&M to have the run that they did against these top teams?
Yeah, I mean, Texas A&M is one of the best collegiate Call of Duty teams in the country. I mean, they have a stacked roster of their own, led by D'Lo, who also placed top 6 in the Challengers Finals. They were undefeated in the regular season of the CCL. They won the playoffs. They placed second in the Tespa 25K Invitational. They should have been a slightly higher seed in this tournament, but they did have technical issues that caused the forfeit loss versus DePaul. But this team is going to be a top 2 team in the tournament for sure. They underperformed in the grand finals, which surprised me, but this will still be a top roster in Cold War.
Yeah, no, we're definitely looking forward to following them moving forward. Now, one of the most impressive performances over the weekend is coming from this Florida State team. They came into the final bracket as a 14 seed. They took down the number 1 seed Ottawa Gold, Northwood, Cal State, Long Beach as well, and they finished 4th overall in the bracket and secured their piece of the prize pool. Now, you actually called this win over Long Beach before it actually happened on Twitter, despite the dominant performances from Zuri on that CSULB team. How did you know? How did you know this coming into that they were going to come in so strong into the bracket?
Well, I knew that Cal State Long Beach was a newly formed team. I mean, they were only a team for a couple of months. So despite Zuri's caliber as a player and Afro, who performed well in this tournament as well, Florida State has been competing in the CCL for a couple seasons now. They placed 4th in season 1 of the CCL. They went 11-6 in season 2. So I simply went with experience. I mean, they play with a well-balanced roster. They play to their strengths. Everybody holds their own weight, and their shots were on point this tournament. They never gave up either. K-Cell, he dropped 36 kills against Long Beach in the come-from-behind win in Game 1. He dropped 15 kills in Game 2, Search and Destroy. Lep had 11 in that same Search and Destroy. So nobody really had a bad game that entire tournament, and that's what led them to the 4th place finish.
Now, clearly, we have several teams to keep an eye on as we head into this Cold War season. Their teams used to, these teams are used to adapting to a new Call of Duty game every year, but there are still factors that can determine how successful a team will be moving forward as we enter into the new game. We'll, of course, be watching, Ottawa, Penn State, Call of Duty. These powerhouse teams have been, up there in the leaderboards for quite some time. But for the rest of these teams, what things are you keeping an eye on heading into this next COD season?
Well, I mean, now that Call of Duty has expanded to cross-platform, we'll be seeing a whole bunch of new teams. So I'm definitely interested to see how the new teams will adapt to a bit more of a competitive league in the CCL and in the Tespa tournament. So I'm also interested to see how all the teams are going to handle the return of 4v4 since we were on a 5v5 in Modern Warfare. So I can't wait to see what teams are going to emerge as Cinderellas and then what teams are going to kind of flop and not perform up to the standards that we're used to seeing for them. So it should be very, very exciting.
No, I completely agree. And we will, of course, be covering the Cold War season for Tespa and CCL moving forward. We're super excited to see all these amazing performances from these teams. Of course, we're super excited to see this last tournament as well. We appreciate your coverage. We appreciate you joining us here today, Pally Boy. Where can people find you on Twitter? Where can people keep up to date with all things COD from the CODfather?
You can go follow me on Twitter at Pallyboy, PALIIBOY, and at Esports VCU for anything VCU related. So.
Awesome, man. Well, pleasure having you joining us. Thank you for helping us break down some COD, and we look forward to talking to you soon for a Cold War.
I appreciate you guys having me on the show. It's a pleasure, and keep doing what you're doing for the esports communities and collegiate.
And coming at you now is the top 5 plays of the week presented by Charlotte Phoenix. At number 5, it's Play versus Rocket League. Tulsa looking to close out the best of 5, holding off a late charge from Missouri S&T. And look as Gachyuh with a great job to get the clever 50-50 to put it right in the zone. And collecting the loose change here is Mushu Pork, and they're able to secure the series win.
Coming in at number 4, we have the Red River Clash Overwatch, Longhorn Gaming's This and That, as Hanzo here landing every single shot in the sequence, including that perfect snipe there on the moving target. That Storm Arrow is going to come through, snag a couple picks as well. And then we do see the Dragons come out to close off with a nice double here on this play.
And at number 3, Winter Breach Rainbow Six Siege. Team Alpha's Dragonflies by himself, having already taken out 3 defenders in the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds of the round, able to catch one of the defenders peeking and across right to the stairwell here. He'll pick up the last defender, a crazy clutch to win the round.
Coming in at number 2, Tespa Call of Duty Ottawa versus Texas A&M. A rough round at this point for Ottawa's no long rules at a 4-7 KD, but then something clicks. Started off with that big knife kill and continues to pick off enemies one by one. A total of 7 in this clip to take his sequence up to a 9 kill streak here at an excellent play.
And at number 1, from our Fall Nationals League, a double touch finish from Felipe. But the highlight of the clip here is this pass across. Look at the flip reset here and a double touch to finish things off. An incredible team play, and it was a great job as we look one more time at the flip reset, perfectly placed to get it over the defender. If he does not get that flip reset in the quick flip directly after, its numbers going the other way. So a great play and a great job to finish off with a double touch from Felipe Plays, and they win the round.
If you would like to be featured on our top 5, you can head to the Charge Discord. The link will be down in the description below. We are now excited to take you to part 4 of our interview with Mike Rufail, aka Hastr0, former professional Call of Duty player and the Chief Gaming Officer for Team Envy.
Talk to me about your current team, the current 2020 championship team. What's a typical week look like for them? What goes into that preparation, and how's that look?
Yeah, we outworked everybody this season, no doubt, and I think that's really the reason we, in the end, won it. Hard work. Got a great coach and GM, Rambo Ray, former professional veteran legend. Really, really great guy that kept the players working really hard. So. Typical day for them, I think they would come in at noon. They'd have about an hour chat. Then they'd get started with a practice schedule. I think they would play 2 different teams in a given day at the professional level. Basically, we call those scrimmages. So they would scrimmage two teams in a day, then get a little debrief and get to go home. But most of our players, when they go home, would also play in the custom game lobbies with other pro players. They call them tens. Where it's just a mixed mashup of professional players just kind of keeping their game on point. So all of our players would go home and play and practice hard and keep the grind up is what we say. So
Right.
Yeah, I mean, we just outworked everybody, and yeah, world champions.
Thank you so much for checking out this week's episode of The Charge. Our Fall Nationals and Winter Breach Recruitment Leagues are ongoing this month as well. Make sure to go to the website to check out the details on those. And also make sure to follow our Twitch channel so you can check that out as well. All that information is in the description down below. Also, colleges, remember, send us your insane clips. Keep them coming. We have the $10,000 prize for the content contest sweepstakes as well.
Make sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of this show. Go to espin.gg to check out all the amazing things we are working on, and you can follow us on Twitter at stay_plugged_in. You can find me on Twitter at HugeBoxTurtle.
And me at Bearlight Gaming.
Thanks for watching this episode of The Charge, and remember, stay plugged in.